Okay.
Unforbidden.
Truth.
All right. So Paul, this is Maggie. Maggie, this is Paul. Paul actually owns your father's car
Whoa.
that he had at the time of his crimes in Rochester. And I'd like Paul to start out a little bit about not only how you obtained the car, but what made you want to get it in the first place, and then we can go from there and have Maggie conversate with you back and forth about it.
Okay, I've been collecting true crime memorabilia, you want to call it, for a while. And back when I was a younger guy, Shawcross was in the paper every day. Well, the murders were in the paper every day. So that was something, that was always on the news, always in the paper. And I found a website of a guy who was selling some of his stuff, artwork, and I bought some stuff from him.
Right.
And next thing you know, he tells Arthur Shawcross he's got a guy in Rochester buying his stuff. and he says, "Oh, I don't have anybody from Rochester as a pen pal. Well, this guy let me write him." And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And that's how we became pen pals for a short time. But the car itself, it came up on Craigslist. Some guy had it in his barn for 30 years. His dad bought it at a police auction.
Wow.
And it sat there for 30 years. And his dad passed away, and he wanted to sell off some of the stuff.
Right.
He was going to sell it as junk, but a friend of his told him, no, sell it for what it is. He goes,
right, exactly.
Quote, he says, quote, "Some weirdo will want to buy it." So it hit Craigslist for $15,000. And my phone was blowing up. My emails were blowing up. Did you see what's for sale? Did you see what's for sale?
Whoa.
So I called the guy, and I tried to see if he would sell me a piece of the car. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to keep the car as is.
Right.
And I told him, I don't have 15 grand.
Damn.
I didn't hear from him for a couple months. Then my phone rings. It's that guy again. And he asked me if I was still interested in the car.
Right.
And I says, "Yeah, but not for 15 grand. He goes, "Well, what do you got?" And I says, "Well, what have you been offered?" He goes, "I was offered $1,000 from some guy, and the Washington Museum of True Crime wanted to take it as a donation." And I told him, "I got $2,000 right now. I'll come down and buy it." And he took it. And I went down and bought it.
Wow. You got lucky.
I got real lucky.
Very.
Because no one else had that kind of money, and he didn't get too many offers, he says. So I guess I'm special.
Good.
I don't know.
That's good.
So did you drive it back, or was it taken by a tow truck to get back to your house?
Flatbed. It's not drivable. It can be fixed and drive again, but it's been sitting for 30 years. It wasn't going to run.
Right.
The guy drove it into the barn, though, so it was drivable when he put it in there.
Oh, that's good.
So did you buy that before or after Arthur had passed away?
After.
Did he have any idea that you were looking at getting it when you guys were speaking?
No, we were pen pals for a short time before he passed away. I didn't have any idea about the car when he was alive.
So Maggie, what do you think about people not only wanting to collect things that your father signed, but a vehicle that basically transported the prostitutes and the bodies and so on and so forth?
That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm fascinated by that kind of memorabilia myself, but to have it still existing in the world right now, I mean, that's pretty wild. I mean, I don't get offended by it or anything like that at all. So, I mean, all power to you.
If Paul was ever to get it up and running, would you ever, consider riding in it?
Yeah, if he asked me, of course. I wouldn't be offended at all.
And I don't live too far from Lyle Avenue.
Oh, wow. I never been to Rochester.
I live off of Lyle Avenue, to be honest with you.
Get out. I'm dying to go up there. I mean, I live in Port Jervis, New York, but I've never been up there. I've been offered to go up there many times to meet with the victims' families, but they're not really, they're not really receptive to me. So I wouldn't want to push it. So
Right.
I said, I told many networks, they told me, oh, you want to meet with I said, yeah, off camera. Let me get a feel of them, let me make my peace with them, whatever. And they flatly refused to meet with me at all. I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't harbor any resentment to them. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to walk into an ambush either,
Right. Yeah, you don't
I
know.
have that respect. I have that respect for other people.
That's why when I bought the car and I started selling pieces of it, then the news people started calling me. The newspaper started calling me. They wanted to put me on TV. I wasn't putting my face on TV.
Oh, no, I don't blame you. I know. I'm the same way. I don't do too many interviews. I mean, aside from Andrew, me and Andrew talk, but I just did an A&E a couple of months back, and now it's on A&E now on Saturday nights. My episode is not until another 6 more weeks. So
what's the show called?
Oh, First Blood.
Okay, I'll have to make sure I watch that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, if you're on Facebook, hit me up on Facebook. It's Maggie Deming. So
okay.
So you get in touch with me there. I get a lot of people that that contact me. So I'm not offended or any which way. But the death threats I got to do without. I get tons of those in a month.
Yeah, I never bugged your dad for anything. He gave me stuff on his own, and I sent him stuff on my own. I never asked him for anything.
Thank you. No, he was good people. He's very generous.
I thought he was a decent guy with me through the letters and stuff.
Absolutely.
Maggie, did you ever ask your dad what happened to that car?
No, not really, because I don't think he told me he got busted in that car, when he was on the bridge and everything, and when he went back to the nursing home to see Clara, but he never really got into it with me about that.
Did he ever talk about
the first car he had that he committed the murders in was totaled? It was Le Mans, I think.
Yes, Le Mans. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I think you have is Clara's. That's his ex-wife.
Celebrity.
Right. So
that's still a pretty good car, if you think about it.
So that car there is the one that he was busted in, correct? And correct me if I'm wrong, but were there any bodies that he transported in there to dump along the way?
He killed his last victim in that car.
Well,
the last victim?
His last victim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's right.
Is that what got him caught? Something to do with the car, or them finding some type of evidence in there, or?
Well, according to Arthur, he liked to revisit his crime scenes, and that's what nailed him, because they had the copters going overhead, and there was a lot of people on the ground, and he was right over the bridge where the body was dumped, and he said, "Oh, I was peeing in a bottle." All right, be that as it may, you were still on that bridge. So you were basically looking down to see where the body was. It was right under the bridge. She was frozen underneath the bridge.
Yeah. I remember when that came on the news. That was big news.
Oh, I can imagine. I didn't keep up with the news back then because I was too busy raising kids and I had a family. So, I really didn't read the newspaper or really watch the news because it really wasn't my thing. Now that I'm an old fart now, I can watch news but I don't even watch the news anymore. It's too depressing. I can't. Yeah. I got my own drama. I don't need to watch TV for that.
Right.
Paul, do you have anything there that Arthur might have sent you over the years?
I have a couple art pieces. The fingerprint chart I purchased, but this is one of the first. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. I don't know if I could be able to. This piece right here, can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he was out there. He had an imagination. He really did.
This he sent me.
That's beautiful.
He put my name on it and everything. I thought that was cool. This will be framed up pretty soon.
Oh wow.
And then here's the fingerprint chart that I actually purchased from somebody.
Oh my God, you got one of those too. Oh my God. I had that a long time ago. One of the fingerprint charts. Oh my God. He sent that to me. I lost all of that. When Superstorm Sandy hit the East Coast, I lost all of that. But he got me Charles Manson fingerprint. Jeffrey Dahmer. I was like, what the fuck, Jesus Christ. He knew everybody, this guy.
Yeah, he sold, sent some of his hair. I bought some of his
Really?
hair with little quotes
Wow.
on them and stuff.
Oh,
Creepy little quotes, which, you know, but that kind of hobby, it looks good,
did you ever send you the recipe for earthworm cookies?
No, I got recipes.
Oh my God.
I got his barbecue sauce recipe, Uncle Artie's
Barbecue
barbecue
sauce
sauce.
recipe. Yep, I remember that. I remember. He
But
would do
not
that
that
up
one.
in triplicate. He would type that up in triplicate with the old fashioned carbon paper. He would do all
Right.
that. Oh God, he sent me like it was like an envelope about that thick. And I was like, what
Right.
the fuck are you sending me? It was all these recipes and stuff, because I like to cook. So my daughter wanted to try, she was digging up worms in it. I said, don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare. I'm not eating no worms from the ground. Oh, and especially
Did you
not
make
in
the
Brooklyn.
barbecue sauce?
I believe I did. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did for one July 4th. I did.
I didn't make it yet.
It's a pretty interesting recipe. It's got a nice little tang to it.
Yeah.
Well, that was years ago. God, that was years ago when we used to have barbecues with the kids. But, my husband passed away about a year ago. So, it's not like I barbecue on a regular. My kids are grown, and I don't do it.
Right.
I don't do it. I just don't. I can't get all jazzed up about this patriotic bullshit that's going on now. I just can't. God forgive me.
Maggie, did your father ever talk to you about people, like writing him or bugging him about putting his hands on paper, with paint or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He always used to get annoyed sometimes because sometimes the letters would come and they would ask very politely in the beginning. Then when he didn't comply, they would get very nasty, the letters. The letters would get nasty, like, oh, who the fuck do you think you are? And this and this and this. And he was like, well, fuck you. I'll put my ass print on there and send it to them. He would do that. He would do something like that. He would put his dick print on a piece of paper. My father was out. You should know. I mean, he was really out there.
Well, I'll tell you what I got. One of the index cards that I had purchased in a large purchase. It has his pubic hair on there, and it says,
"Oh my God,
this one's for the ladies' fantasy," and that's kind of creepy.
Oh my God! Oh, that's hysterical. I love it. I love it. He's got to be looking down right now, laughing, because I know he's not down there. Because when you die, you got to go somewhere. So it's either got to go up, but I don't know about down, because he lived life in hell up on earth. So you can't get any worse than that.
Right.
So wherever you go, that's where you go. I mean, I'm Catholic, but I'm not religiously Catholic. I curse like a sailor, like, fuck this, fuck that. But do I go to church? No. I mean, you can worship anything, divine universe, God, anywhere. You don't have to go to a church to do it. I'm sorry.
Right. I believe that.
And I respect everybody who has their own beliefs. I don't say, well, oh, wait, I'm a pagan, I'm a Wiccan. All right, God bless you. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I have nothing against that, I'm very open-minded.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't you say before that your father got a little bit religious before he died, and actually David Berkowitz was somewhat of an influence on him?
Yeah, that was my last meeting with him. That's before we did the Netflix thing. That was before we did the other documentary with the British broadcasters. The father came over to the table that we were sitting at, and he says, "Oh yeah," because Arthur would sit up every Sunday for him, for church, but he never stayed for the mass or anything. So he says, "Why don't you come to the mass and everything?" And Arthur was like, no. So I said, "Dad, you should go. I mean, just go one time, see what happens." So he was setting up that Sunday, and he sat down and he went through the whole service. And he just got, I don't know, something clicked in him. Then he kept going back every Sunday, going Saturday nights. So he kind of like got in a conversion towards the end, which I think that, he knew he was ready to die, because he was sick and he was going through all these health problems. So I guess that was his way of making peace with himself.
Right.
I have his letter of conversion. I still have that.
Do you think maybe he was almost like scared, maybe like going to hell?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Even though he never said it outwardly, I think he was, but I think he was ready. I think he was ready to really leave, because I mean, how much shit can you actually go? I mean, 250-year life sentence, that's all day. You ain't never going to see the light of day. If he walked out in the yard, all right, there was sunlight, but there was bars overhead. So when I used to see him, we used to walk outside in that little area. he knew he could never leave. I could leave at the end of the day, but not him.
Right.
Wasn't he friends with the son of Sam?
Yes, I met David. Yep, I met David.
Yeah.
He used to scare the shit out of him every time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a short little guy and very, I don't know, very bookish, you know, he's very religious. I mean, in a 2-minute conversation, he mentions God. I just basically shut off right there. Like, all right, David, we know that God is all powering, whatever. But then Arthur would fuck around with him a lot. He would scare the shit out. You're talking to my daughter? And I was like, this guy would literally shit his pants. I swear to, but I sit there and have coffee with them and everything. They used to talk, you know, one-on-one. Really nice guy.
Was there any other like high profile inmates that you'd speak to, like Colin Ferguson or Joel Rifkin or anybody else?
Colin Ferguson is he's at Attica. He wasn't there. I did meet Joey Sullivan. He was a hitman for the Colombo crime family.
Mad Dog.
He used to work for my uncle.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he ratted me out. He ratted me out because I go up there, I'm seeing my father and Joey Sullivan, and this guy was like over 6 feet tall, way over 6'7" at least, big guy. And he goes, "What the fuck you doing here?" And I said, "I'm talking to my father." And he goes, "Oh, really?" Then that night I come home back to Brooklyn and I get a phone call from my uncle who was doing time in Marion State Prison in fucking, Illinois. "What are you doing up in Sullivan?" I was like, "I'm talking to my father." "Oh, I don't want you up there no more." I said, "Well, you can't tell me what to do. You're over there, I'm over here, so I'm going." You know, I mean, I threw it in his face. We're talking about a mob guy. You're telling him off and everything. He's like, "You better not go up there." I said, "I'm going." And I did. Yeah. My husband was laughing. He was laughing his ass off. "You telling your uncle that?" You know? But Joey Sullivan, when I seen him again at the next visit, I said, "Thank you." He said, "For what?" "Thank you for fucking ratting me out." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, well, you know, you're not supposed to be here." I was like, "Who the fuck says so? You know, you're not my father. I can come and go as I please."
Right.
But he met Arthur, you know, him and Arthur had an understanding. So it was cool. You know, my uncle never called me up.
Why do you think he said that? Do you think he was like in fear of your safety or just didn't want you there in general?
Yeah, you know what it was? Because I was going to college at the time and I was taking behavioral and forensic science. So I had to work with a lot of feds. And that's a no-no, especially my family. A bunch of guineas like me, forget about it. You don't talk to the feds. You don't talk to the cops. So I had to work with these people. So my uncle got word. He says to me, "What are you doing work with the feds?" I said, I'm going to class. I'm doing studies with these people. You know, these were my professors. I can't just shut it off. You know, I mean, this is my education. So after a while, he got kind of cool with me. You know, he was like, "All right, I'm not going to interfere." I said, "But I'm not talking about you. I'm not saying a fucking word about you to anybody. So what does that got to do with this? So shut up." You know, I'm telling my uncle, "Shut up." You know.
How were the mob guys with Arthur, considering he was a double child murderer before the, you know, serial homicides?
When he got in there, he was treated really badly, you know, like really badly. But after a while, you know, you live amongst them a couple of years, they start to warm up to you. You know, I mean, he pretty had a good, solid relationship with them, but he never really, he never got abused that bad, you know, like physically abused.
Right. Just I mean, he was a big guy, right? He was like 6'2", 6'3", or.
Oh God, he was big. He was a big guy. He was a big man. He walked into a room and everybody turned. That's what kind of a force of nature he was. He walked into a room and everybody like got quiet. I don't know why. Every time he went for a visit, you know, he would just like, the whole room would get quiet. I was like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, I think he
was very gregarious, very nice.
Yeah, I'm sure back then he was that recognizable name and face, kind of like, you know, Gary Ridgway of Washington, or, you know, like whoever, you know, that's New York's, you know, most high profile serial killer.
Oh, we're all fucking nuts up here. We're all fucking nuts in New York. I mean, that goes to the territory.
Hey, don't forget Kenneth Bianchi was from Rochester, New York, too. It must be
something that's
in the
right.
water here.
That's right. Oh, I'm dying to go up there. I'm dying. If the network contacts me, we're going to Rochester, I'm going. We'll meet together. We'll have lunch.
Oh, definitely.
On their dime. We're going to eat on their dime. Fuck it.
That'd be great.
I said, my friend, I got to meet my friend.
Have you ever thought about going out to Rochester, like the old, like, crime scenes in your dad's old house and everything, like where he
Yeah,
grew up?
I would like that. That's one of the reasons why I would go. That's my main motivation, is to basically walk in his footsteps to see how he lived, and the surroundings, get a feel of it. That way it's like a connection to him in some way.
Right. Have
I
you had
got
any?
I'm sorry, I got the
Oh, go-
address from his apartment building. Some guy stole it off the door and
Get
sold
out
it
of
to me.
here.
Yes. So I guess you get in the building, they took the numbers off the door. I got them now.
Holy shit.
I wonder how
Be
many
a bitch
times
for the
that's happened.
mailman. That'll be a bitch for the mailman. God forbid he has to like deliver a fucking colonoscopy, fucking package. Oh shit! I got no fucking way to send it. Just ship the box and send it back. Oh my god.
Have you ever been like afraid or like nervous to go up to Rochester, being that your father?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, considering the fact that, whatever press celebrity status I got, I don't look over my shoulder. I'm from Brooklyn. I carry myself a certain way. So I really don't look over my shoulder saying, oh, I got to be afraid. Because, that's not the way I live. I don't live like that. I go, if I'm invited to a place, I'll go. But I don't want to piss people off in the process. I mean, I like to get my bearings, and then if that person wants to meet me one-on-one, but off camera, definitely. Then if they want to go on camera, then that's fine, as long as they're accommodating to it. I'm not going to force somebody to do something they don't want to do.
Right.
The networks are very pushy about that. Like, oh, let's go meet with them and let's sit down. That's uncomfortable. You got to because these people lost somebody, regardless of what they did in life, that was still somebody's child, and you got to respect that. I mean, that's the one thing I do. I do respect people, and I wouldn't want to piss anybody off that way.
One thing I found out after I purchased the car, I didn't know this at the time, but one of the local news channels here wanted to take that car as a donation.
What the fuck?
And crush it on live TV with the family's victims around it for closure. And they says that they went like Arthur Shawcross reaches out from the grave to get his victims one last time. Because I bought the car, I robbed them of their closure.
Oh, so get the fuck out of here with that shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I said,
that's not going to make any closure. How is that going to close anything if you're going to crush a fucking car? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. And the only person they could find for the interview was some girl that wasn't even born while this was happening. So obviously these people didn't really seem to care that much.
Naturally. Oh yeah, you're always gonna find them coming out. Oh, I knew that one. I lived in the same town as them. Did you fucking know him? Did you fucking? I don't think so. I was with this guy for 8 years in and out of prison because he was incarcerated. So that makes me incarcerated because I have to go and visit him and then come out at the end of that visit and I'm still incarcerated with him mentally because he's in there. And not many people say that. They said, oh no, well, he was inside, you wasn't. I'm still incarcerated in my mind because of him. When he passed away, that was like the ending of everything, I mean, did I keep in contact with the prison afterwards? Yeah. The warden used to call me up. The chaplain used to call me up. David used to write to me. And then, all his other friends used to write to me. I wasn't going to close them out because Arthur was gone. I'm not that type of person.
Right.
Paul, has anybody ever harassed you, about the car, whether you like they know you have it or trying to maybe break into it or anything of the sort?
No, nothing like that. I get a lot of funny looks from people, but I've been getting those my whole life. So
you know what you do? Take some crazy glue, put a dildo on it, and let's say, go fuck yourself.
That's a good idea.
I'll grab this car right up your ass. You know what? Fuck all these haters. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it happened 20, 30, 40, maybe 40 years ago, close to that. I'm dating myself. But I don't think you can have a closure with this, because the families, all right, yes, they lost somebody. They can never get over that. I agree with that. But get over it already. Just get the fuck over it. See, I was telling you, Andrew, I can't get with these serial killer daughters. Oh, my father. Bitch, if you must have known, just like I known after the fact. Do I go on blast? I mean, Andrew, how many fucking interviews do I do? You know, I mean, you don't see me all the time on fucking TV. You don't see me on ID Discovery and all this shit. I can't get with these fucking women. They wanted to do a news show in California with all of us sitting together. I said, no, I refuse to sit with these fucking people because they exploit. They exploit. Oh, well, my father did this. And yeah, your father killed people. So did mine. But you don't see me going on blast, rubbing salt in the wounds. I don't do that shit. You know, that's not me.
Have you ever thought about, say, like hypothetically, you lived with your father, you know, from birth up until he died in prison? Do you think, you know, your view might have been different, you know, growing up, knowing that he did this and you were in the house and he was going out at night, you know, killing these kids or these women?
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think we would have this conversation right now because I don't think he would have done that. When he was with my mother, I mean, they had like a 3 or 4 month romance, so to speak, you know, that was on the fly. And he was married. My mother was married, but you know, he was separated because of, you know, being in the war. And my mother was separated from the man who raised me. So he didn't hurt her. He never hurt her. You know, they had feelings for each other. And I was the result of that. But not many people know that I was a twin birth. You know, there was 2 of us. You know, my kid brother died at birth. So I had to tell Arthur this. He was like, what? You know, I had another son and everything. Now his other kids don't even talk to me. I don't even know who the fuck they are. They changed their names. And I mean, that's okay. His family have nothing to do with me. So whatever they have to fucking say, that's on them. You know, that's their opinion. I mean, what I know of him in the 8 years that I spent with him, he really, he bared his soul. You know, he told me everything, what happened. You know, do I feel guilty about it? Yes, I did, because I was listening to every single crime he committed and I felt guilty. That's like survivor's guilt after the fact, you know, by proxy.
Right.
But I got over it. You know, saying, if these people want to make peace with me, fine. I'll be more than happy to do it. But I'm not going to go on blast. There's no way, you know, unless they want to do shit like that. That's on them. That's not on me.
Do you feel like he felt bad because he was in prison, or do you feel like he felt bad because he actually felt bad that he killed these people and took away their loved ones?
Well, I felt bad for the victims' families for sure, and especially about the 2 kids that he killed, because I'm a mother. I got 7 kids. And do I want my kids to get killed, raped, or murdered? No, absolutely not. And I kind of feel, you know, like more sympathetic and empathy towards that family that lost a child, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. So do I feel sorry for my father? No, I do not. He got what he deserved by going to prison. Yes, you know, unfortunately, yeah, he got caught by his own hand. You know, he got caught, he got busted in the car, you know, and they drove to Clara and he got busted. So it was like a turn of events. You know, he was meant to get caught.
Did he ever talk about, though, specifically what he felt bad about, whether it was being in prison or if he truly felt bad about killing these people and these kids?
Well, actually, he would tell me a lot of times that he would like to do his life over, you know, not like get over the abuse of his family and in growing up, getting over that and in being a better person. I mean, by the time he hit Vietnam, he was already damaged. He was already fucking far gone. Then when he came back to the States, he was really fucking gone. So there was no way of helping him. You know, there was no way.
Hey, Paul, is the car there like sitting outside, or is it like somewhere else?
No, it's in the garage. I'm going to go out and show it to you.
Yeah,
Oh
that'd
my
be awesome.
God.
That'd be awesome if you could. Are you
Yeah,
able to open the
right?
doors and everything?
I'm dying to see it.
Take a little field trip.
There you go. We're gonna go take a walk with Paul. Oh, that's cool.
Is everything original on it? Like you haven't painted it or anything, or?
I noticed the steering wheel was bent. You know, it could be from fits of rage and stuff.
Could
Can
be.
you see? Can you see this? All right. Can you see this?
Oh my God. Wow. That's the car.
That's
Oh
it.
my God.
And here, The police impound wouldn't give me the door back because he rolled the girl's head up in the window.
Yes.
It was inside the car. The
Yes.
FBI tore all the cloth out except for the seats.
Wow.
The
Look at
driver's
that.
seat, they tore a lot of the seat up. I sold some of that. I sold some of those pieces.
Right. Oh my God. Wow. Look at it. Look, the body looks fucking great on there.
What
Still
year
in
is that
good
car?
shape. And there's what's that now?
Do you know what year the car is?
I think it's an 88 Celebrity.
Yes. Yes. What, Clara must have got pissed when that car got impounded. That was her car.
Is Claire still alive?
That
Yeah.
I don't know. That I have no idea. Well, I told you about what happened. He was going to divorce her. And what happened was I had to forge his signature on the divorce record. So he got divorced by default. That was funny. I that was funny because when he finally got divorced from her, he was like, I'm rid of that fucking bitch. I was like, oh my God. I said, because he asked me, he said, could you do me a favor? I said, yeah, sure. He said, can you sign some divorce papers? I said, whose divorce papers? He goes, mine. I said, against who? He said, Clara. I said, what? I said, that was a turn up for the books. So I copied his signature and I forged the signature on there.
Has Claire's family ever got a hold of you, Paul, or anybody from Arthur's family after you got that car?
I want my car
one,
back.
no one's ever gotten a hold of me from them people. No.
No, she's probably dead now. Yeah, she was up there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know, but Rose, his last wife before Clara, she died by mishap, by an abortion. She was like really older than Arthur, and she met with this young guy. Maybe he was into MILFs or whatever. I don't know, and she got pregnant. So they tried to do an illegal abortion in her kitchen, and she died. She bled to death.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
And Arthur used to say to me, oh, I wish I would have done the abortion on her. I was like, why? Are you kidding me? I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. No. He used to get graphic when he used to, I mean, it didn't shock me, but when he would talk about, you don't know if he was kidding around or he was actually serious. So you had to really pick apart if he was joking around. Which most of the time he was.
Right. Would it be mostly be about the murders?
No, about the murders. Oh, no. When it came to the murders, he was more serious about that. I don't think he really joked about that too much because that was something that really hit him hard, because, it gave him time to think about it. When he first got in there, he had no remorse whatsoever. And he carried that for a long time. I have no feelings. I have no remorse. But deep down inside, I think he did. Because why would he, agree to do an interview if he didn't have any kind of remorse?
Right.
So,
and one of the letters he wrote me, he told me, he goes, he feels sorry for what he did to Rochester. He liked Rochester. He goes, but he didn't feel sorry for what he did to the girls. He told me he didn't.
No. When it came to the girls, he kind of felt, I mean, that whole big thing about AIDS and everything, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
That was total bullshit because the press kind of added that to the pot. And he said, no, because I knew the girls that I was, consorting with. So I knew none of them had diseases and they knew me. So that's why they were easily to go with him, because any other girl they wouldn't have went with him, because, he gave off that appearance he was a big guy and you would get scared. He could, crush my neck by one hand, because he had a really big hand. And I wouldn't want to get in the car with him if he had, it was like, I'll choke you. I couldn't do that, and he was my father, so I couldn't really. I was a little bit different towards that.
When they assaulted him in prison and you seen the picture of him with the bandage on his head.
Yes.
I got a index card with his blood smear on there that he wrote.
Wow, really?
A lot of New York's #1 serial killer he wrote on there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, you probably read all the media coverage on this. I never really did. I didn't read it till after I found out. So to read all that and then the books that came after that, you know, because every time I would bring up a book that was written about him, he said, throw it away. It's not true. And I would go back to that book and I would read it and I would just like pick apart because, like I said, I spent 8 years with him inside Sullivan Correctional. So I knew when he was bullshitting and when he wasn't. So it's that kind of thing that you pick up, you know, because he could play around with your head, you know, like he did with a lot of people. He played with a lot of people's heads. So me, he couldn't get away with because, you know, I'm your fucking daughter. You know, you're not bullshitting me, you know, and that's why he was able to open up after so many years.
Right.
But I mean, he was good people. I mean, he was generous. He, you know, very sensitive individual. Even though he was a big guy, he still had a soft spot for something. You know, as far as remorse, I don't think that he had remorse for a very long time. You know, because he kind of got it beat out of him. You know, I mean, considering his childhood and his growing up and then being in the military, every kind of living human existence in him basically got beat out of him. So he wasn't, you know, that human, so to speak. You know, he was human to me, but anywhere else he wasn't.
This is going to probably shut off in about a minute and a half, but can you guys end it out by basically maybe just having some type of like dialogue talking about the car and we can end there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So did you ever have a chance to drive it?
No, a funny thing about the car, I've had a lot of people come and see it. Not many people want to get in it. Men,
Get out. Yeah. Okay. I can understand.
I've had girls couldn't wait to get in it and get their picture taken. But I know grown men that won't get in it. They, oh, no. They don't want no part of getting in it. I don't know why.
Wow. What are they afraid that Arthur's going to invade their soul, like possess them?
I know, right?
Go to fucking church. You'll get an exorcism. You know, 10 for $1.
If I could ever get that running again, I don't know if you remember the Seinfeld episode, Peterman Reality Tours.
Oh my God, yeah.
The Shawcross Reality Tour. I'll be driving it up and down Lyle Avenue.
Oh, you'll make money. Oh, you will definitely make money. Definitely. Well, you call me up if you ever get that business going. Definitely. You get one-on-one interview with me, you know, and then, you know, you could be the chauffeur to drive everybody around and show out this. Oh, this what happened here. That's what happened there. You could be the drug guy. You know, we'll split it up. Yeah, we'll just whack it up. Don't worry about it.
All right, perfect. I think we can end there. It'll probably cut off any second, but thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I'll let you guys know
Thanks,
when this is